The Sierra Nevada foothills are home to a population of Pacific tree frogs. The little guys, little wonderful croaking, wall climbing frogs, live in our area, and for many years now, I have established a little bonsai garden right outside my front door, sort of a miniature forest. And I mist it and water it during the baking hot Sierra summer days, and so it has attracted a population of these tree frogs who love moisture to my porch, basically. And so for many years now, I've had a family of frogs that live in my bonsai trees, and I've featured them on my Facebook page, A Tiny Frog in My Bonsai, under that heading. But we had, by we I mean Sesame and I, my little Minpin, my miniature pincher, dog and companion at the time, had an amazing experience during the winter of 2018 going into 2019. And it was also the beginning of a series of many funerals. My dog passed, my mother, my son, my father, my mother-in-law, and most within a 6-month period of time. So it was an intense period of life. And this little encounter with a Pacific tree frog really opened up my heart and helped prepare me for that season of saying goodbyes. So here's how it went down. Sesame and I were sitting cozily in our living room downstairs from where I'm recording today. Now, she was already aging. Her bones were sore. I was in the habit of keeping the heater going a little higher than normal that winter because of her aching bones, and she had a bed by the furnace. So we're sitting there one day, and I hear inside the house a croak of a Pacific tree frog inside. Huh. And I looked over at Sesame and I said, I don't know. This frog might starve to death if it doesn't get out of the house. So this was October maybe. Then I promptly forgot about it. So a couple months later, now it's Christmas time, and all of a sudden, over the edge of the couch, something catches my eye. I'm reading a book. I look up, and over the edge of the couch peeks a frog, size of a quarter. Frog has crawled up over the back of the couch, and I'm like, oh, there you are. And I froze with my book. The frog walked down the cushions, walked across the seat, hopped over the gap to the coffee table, walked over to the edge of the coffee table. This frog looks up at me directly, making eye contact with a human being that it has volunteered to approach. Now, I'm an animist. I believe in animal spirit consciousness, but still. So I looked this frog being in the eye and I said, "You're hungry, aren't you?" To this frog, I said, "I don't know how, but I'm going to figure out how to take care of you." And after I said that, it turned away, hopped back across the coffee table, hopped over the gap between the coffee table and the couch, hopped across and up the couch, walked over, and gazed adoringly at the strip of Christmas lights that we had hung there, and just sat there, staring up at the glowing lights of the Christmas tree, as if saying thank you to whatever God's frogs pray to. So the next day, I go to the local pet store. I walk in. This kid walks up to me, and he's clearly neurodivergent. Like, you just look at him, and he's got the thick glasses. He's got kind of crazy hair. He's kind of gangly and weird. Obviously, this is my guy. So, hypothetically, if I was going to have to take care of, say, a wild tree frog, how? And before I had even finished my bumbling sentence, he looked at me and said, "Tree frog got stuck in your house and trying to keep it alive?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Follow me." And he turned around and walked towards the back of the store with such confidence. I seriously was like, am I on candid camera? Because this is so amazing. He goes, "Yep, all right, here's what you need. Crickets and mealworms." Opens up these and starts bagging up live crickets. But he's like, "Pacific tree frogs are very friendly. They're very intelligent. They can be trained to eat from your fingers." So I walk up, armed with my amazing, this was the exact guy I needed to meet. Fred the frog was somewhere in the house. I didn't know where. So my idea was, I'll take a house plant, I'll create a sort of terrarium habitat for it. So I moved my plant down there. This is just sitting out right next to my dog's food bowl. Well, sure enough, Within 24 hours, it was like, if you build it, they will come. Fred the Frog had found the habitat. Fred learned to eat mealworms directly from my hand. In fact, we got on so well, and he was so comfortable with the situation, that Sesame, my dog, actually began to get jealous. There were nights when I would be sitting in my chair reading my book. Sesame would be sitting on her little cushion in front of the furnace, and Fred the Tree Frog would climb out of his habitat, up the wall, and sit on the little ledge above the furnace, watching us in the room, just sitting there as part of the family. So, for an entire winter, Fred the Tree Frog lived wild and open in a potted plant in our house. Well, later that spring, Sesame finally sickened in her last days, and she passed away in mid-March. It hit me really hard. The loss of a pet can be in some ways more impactful than the loss of a human loved one. I was profoundly impacted by Sesame's passing. We had become constant companions for, 11 years, and losing her was hard. Within just days of Sesame passing, spring had sprung in the world outside here in the Sierra. The flowers and early budding trees were going, and the warm days were there. And all of a sudden, Fred the Tree Frog began to go a little stir-crazy. He, in fact, was literally climbing the walls. In a behavior we had not seen all winter, Fred was crawling all over the house, hopping across the carpet, into the bathroom, hopping up and around the shower stall, going down the drain, coming up the drain, looking around. We were like, what the heck is going on? It hit us. Oh, it's springtime now. He wants to go outside. It's time to go. So I opened my front door, just stood out of the way, and watched Fred. And sure enough, it took him about half an hour to sort it out. Came out of the bathroom, walked across the carpet of my living room, hopped onto the landing, the threshold of the door, and he sat there for several minutes. In fact, I videotaped it, so I'll just cut that into my description. All right, everybody, I've got some news. Tomorrow is officially spring, and Fred the indoor frog has decided to go back outside. I left the door open, and Fred said, yep, I want to go back out. I spent the whole winter living inside with Sesame and John, and now I want to go mate and make some baby frogs. I want to go make some baby frogs. All right, so Fred, this is Fred, going outside for the spring. Lived all winter inside. Bye, Fred. He hopped away into the world. And ever since, I've had Pacific tree frogs living in and around my house and showing up in my little bonsai trees and just being a part of the world and community here. Part of the beings that I consider my allies and avatars of the natural world. I believe in genuine human-animal communication. I also believe in genuine human-plant communication. I believe that all living things are alive and conscious and open and willing to engaging with their sisters and brothers, us human beings. I've had profound shamanic or just natural kind of amazing experiences like this in my life. Open your heart and you might experience some of the same wonder with the natural world. Humans do not run this planet. Bye, my friends. Thanks for listening.